Good morning, students. Today we are going to study the lesson force and pressure. What is force? Any pull or push is called a force. When we are switching on a light, when we are pulling a door, when we are pushing a chair, all these are using force. We use a lot of force in our daily life. A push is used to move an object away from us, whereas a pull is used to move an object towards our body. Whenever there is force, two objects are involved. There is always an interaction between two objects. One applies the force and the other sees the effect of the force. So the effect of the force is seen in the speed of a moving object, or it increases the speed or may decrease the speed. It can put a stationary object in motion. It can change the direction of motion, and it can change the shape either temporarily or permanently. It can start a stationary object. It can change the direction of a moving object, and see, the shape may change temporarily or permanently. The effect of force is only seen. What in when the two forces are acting on a body? If the forces are in the same direction, the net force will be the total of the two forces. But if the forces are acting in opposite direction, the net force will be the subtraction of the two. For example, in the first case, two boys are pushing a table in the same direction. The net force or the total force will be the sum of their forces. Whereas in the second case, the boys are pulling or pushing the table in the opposite direction. So the net force will be a subtraction of their forces. The forces will get diminished. In this case, forces are acting in opposite directions. So a force is always defined or expressed as its magnitude. And when we want to specify a force, we always need to know the direction in which it is acting. Is it in the same direction or is it in the opposite direction? Forces may be of two types, contact and non-contact. For contact forces, there always is contact between the two objects. For example, a muscular force and a force of friction. Whereas in non-contact force, these forces act without there being a contact between the two objects. The common ones are magnetic force, electrostatic force, and gravitational force. Muscular force is the force exerted by our muscles on the body, on another object. It could be the muscular force of an animal also, which are used for various tasks. Force of friction is the force which opposes the motion of an object. A ball rolling on the floor, you walking on the floor, your pencil writing on the paper, all these involve a force of friction, and there is always a contact between the two. Now, what about non-contact forces? Magnetic. A magnet attracts magnetic substance and repels or does not attract a non-magnetic substance. Electrostatic force is the force exerted by a charged body on another charged or uncharged body. Gravitational is the force exerted by Earth on all objects. Earth pulls all objects towards itself. So these do not need a contact to be there. What is pressure? Pressure is the force divided by area. Whenever force is acting on an object, it acts on a particular area. If we reduce the area, the pressure increases. In all these cases, the pressure has been reduced. In the case of a nail, the pressure on the head of the nail is much more than the pointed end. So the pointed end feels the pressure more. Similarly, in the case of the handles or straps of bags, their area is increased to reduce the pressure. Pressure is measured in newtons per meter square. The unit is SI unit is also called the Pascal, which is equal to 1 Newton per meter square. Let us take these examples in which the same weight, 50 kg, is distributed over a smaller area, will give more pressure, will produce more pressure, and the shoe with larger area will produce a lesser pressure on the floor. This is the reason why potters or coolies, they carry a rounded cloth piece on their head. That is to spread the force of the luggage on a larger area, thereby reducing the pressure. Pressure in liquids increases with depth, but at the same depth, the pressure will be equal in all directions. With increasing depth, it will increase, the pressure will increase. Pressure is also exerted by air, gases on the walls of the container they are in. We can feel the pressure in football, in the balloons, in the air tubes, in our cycles. Now, what is atmospheric pressure? Atmospheric pressure is the pressure exerted by air on all objects. The atmospheric pressure, though we do not feel it, is quite large. We can feel the atmospheric pressure in vacuum suckers where they stick to walls. We use these suckers to hang various things, and these suckers are difficult to take off. Why do we then not feel the atmospheric pressure on our heads if our body is weighed down by the atmospheric pressure? It is because the liquids inside our body exert a pressure outside, which cancels the pressure from outside. So we do not feel or get bogged down by the atmospheric pressure. Thank you.